Welcome, friends. We have breaking news for you. And you've come to the right place because the Contrarian is not only going to give you the very latest news, but the detail, the impact, the analysis that you're not going to get anywhere else. So I will be joined just minutes away by Norm Eisen, who himself has been making news today. And Norm will be joining us with the latest on one of the most important cases that we've seen. But he's in good company because across the large coalition, labor unions, the ACLU, norms groups, individual plaintiffs, we are seeing a plethora, a flowering of strong reaction from the federal bench that they are telling this administration, no, you cannot unilaterally simply declare what the law is. No, you can't unilaterally threaten states and localities. This is what happens when you allow a president to get the notion in his head that he is a lord and master, that he is king, and he thinks his proclamations will simply make it so. The federal bench is telling him no, that's not the way it's going to be. Let me give you a sense of the scope of this. And when Norm joins us, we can jump into some of these details. Three big areas of concern. First of all, by executive order, Trump sent out to the states, to the rest of the country, that he was going to instruct the states through an entity called the Election Assistance Agency. And here's Norm. Norm, I was just going to go through the three categories of huge wins, multiple wins in each category, because something has shifted. The ice has broken. So we are going to start with your case and the importance for elections. As I was just explaining, Trump sent out this executive order. He's going to tell the states that people have to bring driver's license, not just driver's license, but passports, birth certificates. And what did the court say?
Ridiculous. The court, in essence, said that in America, voters choose their presidents. Presidents don't get to choose their voters. Jen, this is just like the birthright citizenship
Yeah,
case where Trump said, never mind the Constitution. I will pick which babies born in this country are citizens, which not. No, 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 no. Court after court after court have said the same thing here. Trump issued an elections EO, breaking the election system in various ways, frustrating, making it more difficult for voters who he perceives as not, quote, his voters to vote. And the court said in no uncertain terms, Judge Kolar-Catelli, we're part of a big coalition. We represent a great friend of the contrarian, Juan Proano of LULAC, the League of Latin American Citizens. Um, it's known as the LULAC case, actually, lead plaintiff in the case, and democracy defenders representing, and that means contrarian representing. And the judge said on the first page, the Constitution says that election administration is left to the states. You don't get to break our elections, Mr.
exactly.
President.
And there are multiple cases, and the judges are all going in the same direction, Norm. It's they can go to whatever state they want. They can go to whatever judge, and the answer is the same repeatedly. In your case, in a case brought by the Democrats, the Democratic Party itself, this is a unanimous view because it's so obvious. And I was just talking before we went on with Mary Ann Franks, who's a distinguished scholar at George Washington Law School. And she said it's not that the courts are losing patience, it's that they can't believe what is in front of them because no president has ever tried this. Of course they were going to lose. It's only a president who thinks that he is king, that he can promulgate these things and that they're actually going to go into effect. I thought it was a brilliant insight. Absolutely right. Second category, the Dear Colleague letter. The Department of Education sent out a letter to schools, school districts saying, any DEI that you're practicing, and they don't really say what DEI is, they never do, they make it vague, they make it confusing, we're going to cut you off from any kind of federal funding, whether you're a institution of higher learning, lower learning. You know what? In two separate cases, the AFT, the American Teachers Federation, and the NEA, another teachers group, sued and they got an injunction. Again, Trump doesn't get to decide what's taught to your kid in a local school district. What is he doing, Norm?
And Jen, and what he's doing is classic hubris of autocrats. Instead of boiling the frog, which was my greatest fear that he would take baby steps, he has microwaved the frog and he's issuing these insane pronouncements. Judges, Democrats, judges appointed by Democrats, judges appointed by Republicans, his own Supreme Court repudiating him by majorities or even unanimously 9-0 in other cases we're dealing with, like you can't deport people in this country without due process. I mean, it's so fundamental. We've never seen a presidency, and the Dear Colleague cases, there were multiple ones, the election EO cases, and the third category we're going to come to. We've never seen a president lose this quantity. By the time we get to 100 days, it'll be almost 100 PIs and TROs. I'm not exaggerating. They're coming in
Absolutely.
so quickly.
Absolutely.
And the other thing that's beautiful before we get to the third category, sanctuary cities, all of American civil society, these wins. It's us, the State Democracy Defenders Fund, supported by the contrarians, but it's also the ACLU, the Brennan Center. I was
The
so
labor,
gratified.
our
The
friends in the,
labor movement, the AFT, the wonderful Randy Weingarten has been such a champion, the NEA. I was so pleased when I went to court. Sometimes here we've said, where are our political leaders? Guess who was in court fighting that EO separate case? I'm representing LULAC. Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries had their lawyers there. So
exactly.
everybody is fighting for the Constitution, and the early litigation wins that the contrarians made possible have now, the sparks are being struck through every part of our democracy. And it's so exciting. And Jen, what happened today with sanctuary cities? More winning.
I will in just a moment, but someone asked a crucial question in the chat. Where do I send the money? Go to the page for subscription on the Contrarian site. If you haven't upgraded to paid, hit upgrade and paid. If you haven't been a subscriber at all, pay subscribers. They are helping to fund the litigation. Great
If
question.
you like what's happening, you can be a part of it for only
Exactly.
$7 a month. It's the most unique bargain in American journalism because you get our great and very independent coverage every day. And we're owned by nobody. That means all the profits go to support the defense of the Constitution and the rule of law and every American. Now, Jen,
I,
speaking of defending the Constitution, the rule of
exactly.
law,
And actually, now that I think of it, there's going to be a fourth category too. But the third category is Trump declared, decreed to states, to localities, if you practice sanctuary cities, and he doesn't even define what that is. He thinks he can order cops on the beat around to help him rouse people, to pick up people like Kilmore, Abrego, Garcia. That's what he wants. If states and localities say, we're not going to do that, we're going to make our own decisions about how we use our police. He said, we're going to cut you off for money. What would that mean? No Medicaid, no federal finance for streets, for police, for any functions. The court said, no, you cannot do this. And by the way, Mr. President, do you remember you lost this the first time you tried it back in 2017? We haven't changed our mind. It's still illegal. again, he keeps going back. Either he's forgotten, as you have pointed out, maybe the memory isn't so good anymore, or he thinks he's going to get a different answer. But the judges are saying, no, you don't get to decide this stuff. We have states, we have localities, we have a federal system. And he just thinks he gets to call the tune wherever and whenever he wants. That is wrong. By the way, someone called us the contrarian inferno. I love that, the contrarian inferno. And plus, Norm, there's a fourth one in a suit brought against the Department of Homeland Security. Another preliminary injunction telling no, you can't get rid of the people who police what you're doing. No, you can't get rid of people who assure that you are maintaining civil liberties and civil rights.
Yes,
No, you can't
yes.
do that. And again, another category. How many cases have we come up with? I think, we have more than the starting lineup of the Lakers at this point. This is one day, folks. And you know what? He is losing everywhere. What is he losing on? His poll numbers are sinking. He is losing public opinion. People have lost faith in the uh, ridiculous tariffs that he has imposed. They have lost faith in his promise to lower prices. And you know what else is going on? Very interesting. People said, oh, American people, they don't care about due process. They don't care about democracy. Overwhelmingly, the polls are showing that Americans expect him to follow the law, to abide by court decisions. If he pulls it and decides emphatically, I'm going to disregard the courts, there will be an explosion, the likes of which he has never heard in terms of popular.
80%. The poll this morning, 80% of Americans say Donald Trump must follow the court orders. And you know who else says that? The courts that are holding him to account in all of these cases. Jen, I think it's so encouraging to see that there's been this surge of support for our democracy. Sometimes I know for all of you, you wonder, can I be optimistic? What will the future hold? Is our democracy strong enough to withstand Donald Trump? Well, the good news in all of these areas, it is. And
Yeah,
that is thanks to the resilience and strength of all the checks and balances that make American democracy work.
absolutely. And this is a cycle. I call it a virtuous cycle. People demonstrate, they show they care. Politicians understand they have a responsibility. So Chuck Schumer and his lawyers show up in court. The courts say, you're right, citizens. He doesn't have the right to do that. That should encourage all of us to protest more. That encourages the politicians to keep hitting him. And you know what else it's doing? It's going to peel off slowly, slowly Republican support because they can read the polls. Do they want to follow this guy down below the magic level of 40%? I don't think so, because that's where his approval is right now. And there's no sign it's coming back up. So he is losing, losing, losing. I,
And we haven't even talked about the divorce. No, not Melania. Even more important, Elon Musk. What happened to Elon Musk being in the Oval Office and being in the cabinet room? They're hiding him. It's like,
right.
where's Waldo? Where's
Exactly.
Elon? He's even more hated than Donald Trump
Exactly.
because of what he's done, doing the surgery with a chainsaw instead of a scalpel.
I,
So it's just all uh, the chickens coming home to roost.
It absolutely is. And you know who's really not happy with Elon Musk? The shareholders of Tesla, because their stock is down 70%. Imagine that. People don't really want their Teslas anymore. They're sending them back. The lease is up, get rid of it. That's because you guys have made that brand toxic, because you have gone out and peacefully, I want to stress, protested week after week at Tesla dealerships. That makes a difference. People don't want to buy them. They understand it's a symbol of authoritarianism. So it's you who is forcing Donald Trump boss, Elon Musk, out of the White House to get back to run his company. It's you who is costing Elon Musk billions of dollars. So keep it up. Go to those Tesla dealerships, keep protesting, keep expressing your views. This is what American democracy is all about. Norm, as we reach over 7,000 people in the middle of an afternoon on a Thursday, how do you like this? You know, when the lawyers from the contrarian show up and explain stuff, people want to get it. And I will guarantee you that you will not get this level of discussion and analysis elsewhere. I also want to make a plug. We have exclusive reporting on the contrarian, care of Marvin Kelb, the esteemed former reporter. He has talked to Leslie Stahl. He has talked to Scott Pelley inside CBS, and they have words to say for Sherry Redstone and the rest of the CBS cowards. You can only read that at the Contrarian because we do original reporting as well as analysis. Norm, I've never been so excited about the Contrarian and about the Contrarians because you make this possible. Norm, any final words?
Well, I said on our coffee with the contrarians this morning that I was looking forward to getting our preliminary injunction, and boy, did the courts and the rule of law come through once again. Yes, I have a final word. If you are an AmeriCorps participant, if you or you have a child or a grandchild or a friend who has been participating in AmeriCorps, so many people ask me after the big win today, what are you going to do next? And I think that AmeriCorps case is a very important one. So in real time, Jen, I'm taking a look at that case. Come reach out to me. If you or someone you know is an AmeriCorps participant, if they lost their job, we're here for them here at the Contrarian. Send them my way.
Absolutely. And this again, unilaterally, Trump thinks he can write off this program. A program that has helped millions of people volunteering in schools, people volunteering in hospitals, people volunteering in crucial services. And you know what? It's because he's cruel. The cruelty is the point. And he's also a constitutional time bomb, and it has gone off in his face. So thank you, Contrarians. If you keep supporting us, we will keep working. We will keep reporting. We will keep Norm in the courtroom. We'll even send him overseas a few times to show you that beautiful scene of Prague last night. So we love it, Norm, when you put
Okay, they're asking how to reach us. Email us at the Contrarian. If you have, go to the Contrarian on Substack, go to our website, go to the contact us, email us if you have those AmeriCorps participants, the
and you can
kids, the
also
young adults. Go ahead, Jen.
drop it in the notes, drop it in the chat, and we will see it. We monitor those. It's not like those corporate people who put up those things and then they ignore the public. We read it. We want to hear what you have to say. So put it in the notes, put it in the chats, send an email, and we will reach out to you again. So thank you all. We love you guys. We depend on you guys. And the Contrarian will be with you all through this fight. We guarantee you. Take care, everyone. Go ahead
Bye,
and celebrate
all.
a little bit. It's a great day.
Thank you.